All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the November Developer Meetup. We have a kind of cool topic today, which is about using AI tools in extensions that added onto DHIS2, so apps and other things. And this is a pretty hot topic now that these AI models are getting pretty effective and they can add a lot of useful functionality. So we have this kind of opportunity to share what we're working on and compare notes a little bit and yeah, discuss that subject in this group here. We have a couple presentations, first from Carlos Tejo from Solid Lines, and then I have a recording from George McGuire on the DHS2 um, core team who has an idea for how to use it in the LMIS context for data entry. Um, then we can have, so I have a kind of interactive survey to get some input from you all on how you're thinking about using it, if you do or don't. Then we can have a little discussion. And also, we'll have a little time today to kind of highlight some contributions that we've gotten into the core that have been very cool collaborations that we just want to share with this developer group. And so, great, nice to see you all here. I think we can get started with the presentation from Carlos Tejo on the AI data entry app that you've developed. Take it
Hi,
away.
hello everybody. Let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. So, um, okay, I'm Carlos Tejo. I'm part of the Solid Lines team. And today I'm going to present more or less again what we present in the DHS2 annual conference this year. That is an approach about the idea of using generative AI in order to speed up the data entry in the HS2. So I'm going to go step by step, talking about a little about the data entry in the HS2 that sometimes, well, one thing is that people are spending a lot of time typing in the HS2. Sometimes they need to do two times because people need to fill in a form because it's a legal requirement. Yeah, it's also like a kind of error prone the form because you don't have validation. So this is the part of the HS2. And we have like a new actor, calling new, like this coming from for a little time, because things in AR are really fast, are going really fast. And this is the generative AI. The generative AI is a part of the artificial intelligence that is meant to generate content using some kind of instructions. And when we mean content, could be text, images, audio, and text includes JSON payloads. That is what we need in order to send information to the HS2 using the API. This generative AI is powered by something that is called LLM, a large language model. Maybe some of you have already heard about tools like ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Llama, and they have like a model behind. And these large language models or tools are accessible using like chatting with them. You can chat, but also they have APIs that we can use in order to obtain the final result. So our idea and our proposal is, why not try to combine them? Why don't try to use generative AI in order to boost the data entry? What happens if we use a photo of a form and it generates more or less, and it generates at the end the event in DHIS2. And there are some kind of steps that I'm going to present now in the demo. Also, another use case could be the massive load of legacy data. Imagine registry books, and you take a photo of them, and all this information is coming directly to the HS2. There's some process in the middle, but imagine that part of the you know to type one by one each of the entries. And here I'm talking about photos, but imagine something like audio. That could be another option. So there is some kind of background noise. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to present this website that we have developed in order to show this proof of concept. This is an option, but the idea behind this of using AI could take other different shapes. Okay, that's I want to make that very clear since the beginning. Okay, so this is the A data entry, so you can play with that directly. So as I say, the idea is to have an input, an image or an audio, throw it to the AI, throw it to LLM with some instructions. Okay, that's important. We send it to the HS2. Just to go to the fast way is that we have prepared something like really easy. It's like we're going to upload a photo of our malaria case. Okay, this is we have pre-configured all the steps. Okay, I have already downloaded so you can download a template and fill it if you want. And here I'm going to download an example. Phone is Mary Jane's, 33 years old, okay, with positive with PF, with chills and fever.
If there's another window, I
So,
don't think that we're seeing it right now.
okay. Let me try to open it here. Can you see it here?
Yeah, looks good. Thanks.
Okay, so this is thanks for letting me know. So this is the image that we are going to upload. That is something that was written, and we're going to send it. So to fill this, we're uploading the photo, when we are processing the image using an LLM that is called Llama. So here we have like the form is automatically filled. Just in case there is a glitch or something that, okay, imagine that there is a problem and the LLM thought that is 48, so here we can change it. As you can see, the date was 25/5/25, positive PF, 5/5/25, positive PL, chills and fever. Okay, so maybe we can, after that, a payload is generated, and we can send it to the HS2. So in the final destination, that is the HS2, we have this information. Mary Jane, 35 years old, female, the 5th of May 2025, positive PF with chills and fever. Okay. Let me show you one thing that is the process. Well, I'm going to show you another example, but let me show you the process. So here, what we have seen is that we have a website that at the beginning we ask it to DHIS2 using the credentials about what are the programs that are available. And we obtain the metadata. And after that, we took the photo and send the photo to the LLM, to the AI. And we are sending the metadata of the program, the photo, and some instructions. That is what is called a prompt. And at the end, this is generating a JSON file that is sent back to the HS2. Here we can play with a kind of combination because imagine that if we just want to play with one program, so maybe we can tweak a little more the instruction in order to be more precise. Imagine that the program is for a country like Senegal. So maybe in the instructions we can say, okay, take into account that the program is for people from Senegal. So the names of the people should be like the most common in Senegal, or even we can pass like a set of common names in Senegal. Okay, these are kind of small tweaks that we can do during the process. I show you the fast pipeline, but if we want to create one pipeline since the beginning, it's like okay, here is the first step when we call DHS2 and we have these two programs that are available. I select the program and here I can choose the input type. I can select a form, a photo, an audio, and text. Okay, I'm going to try an audio. What can I do? I can upload an audio or record an audio. Let's record an audio. And here, more than one model could be used. In that case, we are using OpenAI Whisper that is in Deep Infra provider. This for the transcription model because this one step from my voice in order to generate the test, and a next step that is from the test in order to generate the JSON payload. In that case, I'm going to select Llama, set the pipeline, and I'm going to start recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this. I'm going to report a case using my voice. And what I'm going to do is to report in my mother tongue, that is Spanish. Will be fast, okay? Because here's something that is interesting is that we can play with different languages if we are using the prompt carefully, we can do it. So let's see. So, hola, me gustaría reportar un caso de malaria. La persona se llama Carlos, tiene 18 años, es de género masculino y ayer comenzaron los síntomas. El resultado es positivo por PF y tiene vómitos. Okay. The audio is finished. We're sending the audio to Whisper. Here is the test that the Whisper has infer from my voice. The data is processed, and here is all the details. Something interesting is that I say that the symptom started yesterday. And using the prompt, we can see that, yeah, today is the 13th of November, and the date is correctly said that it was yesterday, that it was the 12th. positive PF and with point. And again, we can change here just in case something went wrong, and we can send to the HS2. And with all the details. So going back to the presentation, just want to mention some parts that, okay, this is very cool, nice, but what about our principles? What about the accuracy? But this is something that we are already working on it in order to create an evaluation framework, and we are working in collaboration with UIO for that. About security and local ownership, uh, we can say that this is possible. In this demo, we are using third-party providers. So we are sending these synthetic cases to, in that case, was Deep Infra, that it wasn't the Open AI model. Sorry, the Llama model. But we can set up, and that is possible, a local environment where everything is inside. Also, there is the part of the open source. They are kind of models that are open source that another that are not open source, but you also need to take into account something that even it is open source could be deployed outside in the cloud, and but also it is possible to deploy it inside. It's on premise, so you can do both options. And what about the next steps? So we are testing it in the field, some kind of piloting. We are having like several approaches for this. We are trying to test different LLMs. In the presentation, we saw Llama. It's coming from Meta. It's open source, but it's also Deep Infra, OpenAI, Claude. There are a myriad of LLMs. We would like to test in more languages. We already test in English, Swahili, Spanish, French, Norwegian, and looks like it's working quite good. We need to think also about depending on each use case, what is the cost analysis of having a solution of this on premise or using the cloud. We're analyzing the accuracy, the results, not only quantitative, also qualitative. And we are working with different kind of DHIS2 product managers and engineer team in order to think about what could be or how this could be used also inside DHIS2. We're in contact with the teams. And we need to be aware of evolution in technology, because, for instance, ChatGPT 5 was released in the last weeks, but even ChatGPT 5.1 was released yesterday. So there is changes every day in this kind of technologies, and we need to adapt. Yeah. Just to remark that what I showed today, what I demoed today, was a proof of concept, an idea, something that is working, but this can be adapted in many different ways for very different purposes, and using, imagine like a mobile app that at the end is using this kind of pipeline or a different pipeline, or using a LLM that is, or an OpenAI service, sorry, AI service that is provided by a university. The possibilities are quite big. Yeah, I'm open to all the questions that you could have.
I have a couple,
Okay.
but maybe I can start by reading off gifts, or actually, gift. Go ahead. If you can unmute, go ahead and ask.
Okay. Thank you, Kai. Yes, thank you, Carlos, for the wonderful presentation. Yeah, I was just curious about how the how the whole setup knows which field to map to whatever command you tell it to. Is it like looking at the field labels, or is it looking at the any extra information about the field? And on top of that, I also like to understand how the translation of these fields actually work. For example, if I have my DHS2 configured in English, and when I'm doing data entry, I decide to use Swahili, how does the LLM know how to maybe translate that to as close as possible to the value that I have in DHS2? So that was my question.
Yeah, so about the first question, the main thing here is like, first we obtain the metadata of the program, and that's include the labels of the fields. And also in the case of the photo, you have also some kind of labels in the form, and that could help. Could help. But for the part of the audio, it's also some kind of, the AI, the LLMs, well, the engine that is behind can infer that my name is, so if I say a person that is called, so it infers that is the name. About if I say something about years, so okay, this should be the age. So it's something that the AI itself can do. If not, and this is the important part of the evaluation, maybe we can play a little with the prompt, that is the instruction that we are given. So in our case, the instructions also include the metadata of the program, so the fields expected, adapted a little. Okay. For instance, we had a use case where was a registry book where males were written, there are people in the registry book, males were written in blue and women were written in red. So we were able to tweak the prompt and to say, okay, if the name or if the line is written in blue, that means that the person is a male. If it's red, is a female, and you should fill the field with that information, and it worked really well in that case. There was another question, yeah, about the language. Was a little part of the prompt, but also that LLMs were very good understanding and doing the transcription. And also, for instance, for some languages that are not so used, maybe there could be a special LLM that works better than the mainstream ones that can be used. And we can also play with that.
Yes, thank you, Carlos.
Nice. I see another question in the chat from Gossen. Do you want to say your question?
Yes, sure. Thanks. If you can hear me. Thank you, Carlos, for the presentation. My question is, I've always seen this demo, and I think that this is really great work, and like you said, it opens a lot of possibilities. But personally, I have not been able to to test it locally, and I'm wondering if there is like a repo that's open for everyone or some kind of local instructions that anyone could use to set up locally and test, or is it not? Yeah, that's my question. Thanks.
Yeah, sadly at this point, this is not open yet. All the instructions that we have for was more like the idea, because this is a proof of concept that can be done in many different ways, many different forms. Yeah, yeah. Currently, is not possible to download it and to run it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that was my question. Thanks.
All right, maybe I can hop in and piggyback off that a little bit. Um, it sounds like you have designs for ways that it can work with local LLMs running locally, and we're thinking about mobile applications. On behalf of George, who has the next presentation, do you know if there like have you thought about running these kind of models on mobile devices so that it kind of works offline?
Yeah, things are going really fast, but not so fast. We have tested in using some kind of local AI in mobiles. For some parts, it could work, but for the other parts, like maybe generating the JSON, we are not yet at that point. We have tested locally more in laptops, running, for instance, LLM Studio. That is a tool for deploying an AI solution inside your laptop, so you can.
I think we lost the connection, Carlos.
Sorry, I was. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we lost you at you have the LLM Studio on laptops that can run uh, AI models. Does it look frozen to others as well?
Yes, it's Carlos. The video froze.
Let's see, can you hear us?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. There was a kind of internet issue plus is demo effect. So I was replying the question of the using the mobile. I don't know if you heard something, or should I reply since the beginning?
We heard up to you can run the LLM Studio on laptops to deploy things locally.
Yeah. So so using a laptop, because of the powerful of the laptop, it works. With the mobile phones is not so good at this point and today, because things are changing really fast. And also want to mention that we also need to think about different use cases, because sometimes you don't need to do some operations offline, or we can wait until one point, because maybe we can make a lot of
I think we lost him again.
Yeah, sounds like it. But it may kind of combine with Atbuti Sean, uh, who has a response that yeah, that might be possible to do some things on the mobile device, and then later when it has connection, kind of outsource that to a model on a company server or something. So still local, like local and in-house kind of, but doesn't need to run on the phone maybe. Looks like Carlos is back.
Yeah, sorry. Uh, Internet issues, sorry. Yeah, so what I want to say is that we can also think about different approaches like taking a lot of photos and at the end process in bulk at once per day or whatever, or even take the photos when you have online connection, send it to a server, and there the information is processed using this pipeline. Even think about audios. Maybe the part of the audios could be like the transcription could be done quite good in the mobile phone, and also send the test. That is easier. Maybe send the test to the pipeline. So yeah. So just to summarize, working in mobile phones as it is right now is very difficult because the demand of the capacity that is needed is difficult. Working in a laptop is more than feasible.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, thanks for the experience and input on that. Um, yeah, I have some other questions if you have some time. I think we'll have time to fit the other things today. But one of the other things that I was wondering is you mentioned kind of ways that you kind of worked on the prompt to kind of make it more effective over time. Um, what kind of things have you found like work for that kind of prompt? And can you talk a little bit about what it looks like now? And yeah, what were you able to tweak and improve?
Things are like working with prompts is like sometimes like difficult, but some is really easy. Things that we have seen problems sometimes with the dates, with the reasoning of the dates, and also depends on the model, and that needs to be taken into account because some models performs better than others, but maybe in other contexts the situation change. I'm thinking loudly here. Things about the value types that we can support. I think about dates sometimes that could be hard, and maybe you need to play a little. Something that is not an option set could be or free test. That part the LLM can not hallucinate, but maybe be be creative about the response. We are seeing some kind of most of the time is quite accurate. There is a lot of accuracy, and maybe not about the prompt, but talking about the part of um, interpretate handwriting. For that, LLMs can be good until one point. If it is handwritten in a way that is not is even difficult for a human, maybe for a machine could be also very difficult. But maybe at that part, maybe we can adapt and try to use different softwares, OCR or handwritten recognizers. Also, like playing a little with the steps and the tools that we can use.
Yeah, gotcha. Am I kind of like guessing right that the system looks a bit like when you set up the program that you fetch from DHIS2, that gets fed into like the prompt. And if you have something like a date, you like is it something like expect that when they're describing this at this point, look for dates, like handle relative things and input that in this format.
Yeah, this kind of things. Or if a field is a kind of is using an option set, so we can retrieve the information about the different options, and the expected options are these ones. And we can even play that with the language, and maybe also trying to work with synonyms. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, my last question is it may be pretty kind of early on since it's in the proof of concept stage, but have you thought much about how this kind of thing can kind of be like generic and shareable to be easy to deploy on a new instance?
Could you repeat?
Yeah. Have you thought much about how these kinds of pipelines can be easier to share and set up on like a new instance for someone that might want to use this kind of data entry pipeline, ways that the system can be packaged and easily deployed?
So if a person wants to set up a DHIS2 since the very beginning with one program, and instead of using the expected capture app, web capture app, or the Android app, and want to use the data entry in this way or in another format, imagine, I think that it could be easier. Yeah, because the AI data entry is kind of generic. So we can quickly add another program and to test it, and it will be fine. There is one field that maybe we are not supporting at this moment or is difficult, yeah, but for most of the implementation, it should be easy.
Great. Yeah, nice to hear. That was my last question. So thanks a lot for the awesome presentation. It's really cool to see. And yeah, great to learn a bit about it. Anyone else have
Thank you
any
to you
questions? If not, thanks again, Carlos. Really, really cool. And yeah, I think people will be referring back to this for the inspiration on AI systems that integrate with DHIS2. So the next thing that we have is that I'll present a video that George McGuire recorded from our LMIS team, who has a similar idea for um, AI assistance in data entry, especially for kind of stock management. And so this is where the kind of questions about running things on mobile and offline come up. And there may be some interesting things to kind of collaborate and share on um, with Carlos here. I'll go ahead and share that. And also, if you guys have any questions for Carlos, you can share them in the chat and continue the discussion on the Community of Practice thread for this month. But yeah, I'll go ahead and share this video, which is kind of, yeah, it's a design for something that he intends to do. So hopefully you can all see that and hear the audio. And let's go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is George McGuire, working for the LMS team at the HISP Center, University of Oslo. Thanks a lot to Kai for the opportunity to present our LMIS use case. So we want to use AI basically for the hands-free entry of data into a tracker program. So I will briefly present how the application currently works. So the real-time stock management system shown on a mobile device in the Capture Android app. I'm going to select the facility where I'm working. I'm working Malsot and delivering to a order service. And the app is going to show me my stock. So what the storekeeper needs to do is to select the item on the list, let's say Cefixime, and then enter the quantity for each item that has been requested by the patient or the service and record it on the screen by tapping and entering the number, and you can see that the stock on hand is updating automatically. And you imagine that the request could be only for 2 or 3 items, so that would be easy, but imagine the request is for 20, 30, 50 items, and the list could have only 80 items, or it could have 250, 300 items. So there's a lot of scrolling up and down. That's kind of tedious. And then you might also be entering the quantity in the wrong row. And we want to simplify this procedure using AI with voice recognition. So I'm going to switch my screen now to Google AI Studio and show you the demo that we have built. So these are the 5 items for which I have stock available. And basically what I want to do is to make the same kind of distribution, but I don't want to type the quantities, I just want to dictate them. So here I'm going to select the distribution transaction, and I'm just going to start dictating. 10 of 1, 20 of 3, 55 of 5. So you see that I have dictated the quantity and then the line number, because that's much faster and shorter than like dictating or scanning a complicated item code or a lengthy name that is difficult to pronounce, and sometimes you have similar medical products that are difficult to distinguish, and it will be a challenge for voice recognition. But the number is always easy, and also has the advantage that for the voice recognition, we would only require the recognition of numbers, but not of text. And the basic idea is that you can just press the record button. You could then put the mobile device, your mobile phone or tablet, on a trolley or in your pocket and just dictate what you are picking from the shelf. Have both hands free, and then once you have finished, you have selected all the items, then you stop the recording. You can still check. There's a second stage in the real-time stock management app where you can verify that the recorded quantities are correct, and you still can correct them. But it would be much faster, easier, and also more user-friendly, especially for users who are not very conversant with using digital tools and mobile devices. So the application was easy to build. It's, I think, for AI, it's really a piece of cake. The challenge will be to run this offline on a mobile device and within DHIS2. So thanks for the opportunity to present our use case.
Yeah, great. Let's see. Does anyone, George, I think, is busy teaching a logistics academy right now, so he couldn't join today. But does anyone have any questions or comments to share here that'll be part of the recording? Otherwise, we can you can comment on the thread for the monthly meetup on the COP. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Sean from Hisp Uganda. My question was, I think Android, maybe even Apple, might have local, at least voice understanding, voice translation that it can do. So maybe we could leverage the inbuilt tools to use specifically for that, and the way you maybe present the information might be in a way that does not spill any, private data or something like that, because it's just data entry. Maybe you could leverage the local, like the stuff that the providers have already, the manufacturers have already put in the devices, instead of like generating something original. Like that's something I was thinking about when I saw the use case.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And knowing that those things are already on board on mobile devices helps a lot. Nice. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Sean. So cool. Yeah, I think that's another thing in the kind of support for data entry um, theme of things. Let's see. I see that we're getting a little bit close to the end of the hour. So I think we'll turn it over to Mozafar and then Andres to present some of our recent collaborations that we've had or core contributions from the developer community. And yeah, I think we'll hop over the kind of survey that I had about AI things since we had some other good conversations about it. So Mozafar, if you're ready to uh, present, I forget if I've made you co-host. Sorry.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
There you go.
Okay. Yes, I'm trying to share my screen here. So yeah, we thought
We don't.
we
Oh yeah.
can
Okay.
actually this is not the right screen. Is it yeah,
I think we
showing?
can see the
Yeah,
full
yeah,
desktop. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Um, so you see the user profile app, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we've had, yeah, we wanted to highlight some of the contributions that we get to the core and core apps. So we've had a contribution from Gift from his Tanzania a couple of months ago. It's a feature that he suggested, and then when we mentioned it to the core team, everyone thought it's a good idea and that we didn't have capacity to do it, but then he contributed it back to the core, and now it's merged and it's part of the core. And the feature is related to personal access tokens in previous version. Like you see, if you have normally in implementation, you will have maybe tens, dozens of a personal access token. And after a while, you don't know which is which relates to which app. Why did you do it? Because we didn't have an identifier as a name. And he suggested that it'd be nice to have a code or a name shown next to the personal access token, similar to what other applications like GitHub, for example, would do. And now, yeah, you can see that we have a token name, and when you generate a new token, there is a field for creating for having a token name to identify that token. So Gift suggested the idea and raised the ticket, and then he also we thought it's a good first contribution. We didn't think it was too complicated initially, but it's also not straightforward. But it turned out more complicated than we anticipated, and it required a backend small change. But eventually it is merged. It's part of the user profile app. The parts that are needed for the core were also implemented and backported, and now that feature is there thanks to Gift's suggestion and contribution. So don't know if Gift we're hoping to see more of these contributions uh, from the community. And yeah, if you, Gift, can share how that process was from your point of view and how it can be improved, that would be great.
Yes, thank you, Muzaffar. Yeah, so as Muzaffar pointed out, we had it was an issue that we were facing when dealing with different DHS2 startups. And yeah, when we got the chance to present some of the issues we normally face to the DHS2 core team, I saw that it was a good request to have. And yes, as Muzaffar pointed out, so we started a process where we communicated on what could be improved on that aspect, and we got what the feature that you Mustafa just showed. I would say the process was really smooth, and it was quite a new experience on my side. Um, so yeah, it was. I would say it was my first time to contribute to a like a such a system. So it was at first kind of nerve-wracking, but it was a good experience, and I'm glad I started off with a more of a simpler task, so it was manageable. And trying to during that process, I was trying to understand how the DHS2 code base works and stuff like that. It was actually very eye-opening, and it was a really good experience. I got a guiding hand from the core team, specifically Mozafar. We had a pair programming and trying to understand the whole code base and figuring out what to do, how to do, what is the coding style of DHS2. It was actually very interesting to see. But also, I got exposed to some of the tools that actually act as they make the development process within DHS2 apps actually kind of more efficient, and they maintain the quality of code. I got exposed to different tools that they use, the continuous development, continuous integration tools, the different checks that they have, the ESLint and the general checks, and all of that was uh, a learning point for me. So I got a lot from that experience. Um, yeah, so maybe something that I think we can make better on this as well is we can. I think I actually urge each and every one of us to find ways we can contribute to the DHS2 core apps. Um, at first, I thought it was a very complex process, but uh, it's not as complex. Yeah, of course, there is a bit of learning on how their style works and stuff like that. But I think um, hopefully in time you will get used to it, and it will be a smooth process. So I urge each and every one of us, if you have time, if there is something that you would want uh, to to contribute to DHS2, if there's a feature that you think is important, just communicate it to the core team, and there is a process they have of how to manage such features. Yeah, so that is what I would say. Thank you, Muzaffar.
Yeah, thanks, Gift. I must add that we suggested that this is a good first issue because we thought it's simple. It didn't turn out to be simple, but yeah, Gift, thank you that you persevered and got it to the finish line. Also, by having an external contributor, we could find some issues with our pipeline itself that didn't make it easy for external contributors. For example, we had some permission issues with running the CI/CD, and by having a contribution from Gift, we iron these issues, and now it's better and it's easier for external contributions. I think probably one of the first barriers for people to contribute is to know what issues are there, and probably from us we can start being more proactive in telling people about the good first issues that they can contribute to. So we hopefully can do that more. But Meanwhile, if anyone wants to contribute, please reach out to us. Thank you, Kai.
Yeah, thank you, Gift, and thank you, Mozafar. And that's really awesome to see. And like Mozafar said, please do reach out if you have ideas and contributions. We can support, and we love to see that happen. I see that we're getting close to the end of the hour, so I think maybe before we go over to Andres for another contribution story, Gassim, do you want to make a couple plugs for the end of year community of practice event and the badge for today?
Yes, sure. Thank you. I'll be really quick. Everyone, you're welcome here. The developer group, especially in the community practice, is the one of the most active group in the COP. And I think you might have seen the COP monthly where we announced the end of year call for presentations. And so the topic for developers, you're free to choose one of the other ones. But if you like, as a developer, to present the end of year event, how the DCHIS2 community has helped you or is helping you as a DCHIS2 developer, you're welcome to submit your presentation by the end of by November 24th and present the end of year event. And I guess that's the link in the message in the meeting chat where you can get more information or reach out if you have any questions. And then the link below that is the developer attendee badge. So if you're a frequent participant in the Dev Meetup, you already know about it. Click on the link, you'll receive your badge. Then you can highlight that in your profile. Thank you. Please reach out in the community practice if you have any questions. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Gassim. Love to see you there at the end of year community of practice event. And yeah, great. And then with that, I'll hand it over to Andres for another contribution story. Go ahead, Andres.
Yeah. Hi, I'll try to be quick. So do you see my screen?
So far, it's black for me.
Okay. Oh,
We can see that you're sharing, but
1 second.
mm,
Yeah, I cannot share Firefox. Okay. Would you mind to share Hi? I will send you a link.
yeah, sure.
It seems I have an issue with Firefox.
No problem.
Yeah. 1 second.
Let's see.
Yeah, I send you in by Slack.
Slack. Cool. There it is.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone see
So
this okay?
yeah, so yeah, this is a pull request collaboration that was opened 1 month ago. It came up from a hackathon in MSF. So they find an issue which is reported in the notes section. No, they were having, yeah. If you can open that link, the MSF OCB. Yeah. So the issue was that when there are future dates in a serial collector, they need to, and they are entering data for the current period, they need to scroll every time to find the current period, no? So the open request that the pull request that they opened was related to creating a launch effect in the new dialog because it's not that dialog, the new one, and they automatically scroll to the current period. So the improvement for the use case was quite good. and for us has been also a feature that makes sense. So we were open to the collaboration, and it was very smooth, and yeah, I think it was pretty good. I don't know if I can show you the end result, but yeah. So sharing you. Sorry for the yeah. That's the result. As you can see there, with the new component, that one automatically scroll to the current period. So yeah, it was a small improvement to our UI.
Nice. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have a quick way to share this in my Firefox window, but
Yeah. Also, I'm sharing
yeah.
a link in the chat for we have like yes that one. We have a small collaboration checklist in order for everyone to be able to create a pull request for our core project. So feel free to contribute anything you need. We will more than happy to listen to you guys.
Awesome. That is really cool to hear. Very nice contribution, and this this contribution guide will help a lot. Hopefully, that's inspiring for others. We love to see this kind of thing happen, and we are happy to support. So if there are cases that um, your implementation needs, this is a good opportunity. Like making a contribution is a great way of making that happen. And then that's our last presentation for today. Thank you all so much for joining. I think that there's been a lot of really cool things today. Thank you, Carlos Tejo. Uh, Thank you remotely to George McGuire. Thanks, Andres and Mosfar for presenting, and Gift for the great contribution, and Brian McGee for his. And thank you all so much. We'll wrap up for today, and then see you next month for the Community of Practice end of year event. Take care.